Okay, yesterday we saw a machlokes about yad. We said a yad is a stem, something that is an attachment to usually a kli and or a fruit, and it has capacity to either transmit tumah or be makabel tumah. But you can lose this same yad if you don't need it for something. So Rav Abba said, if you go ahead and you harvest grapes for the purpose of wine, it does not have a yad, because that yad you don't want. And Menashe ben Gada, he said, afilu, if you cut fruit for a schach and you have the yad, even there, what it would not be a yad. If you cut it for schach, it wouldn't be a yad. So we wanted to say this is a machlokes. We brought in, if you have branches of tainim and you have or clusters of grapes and you have enough to go ahead and be mevatel the fruit, it would be okay. Even though fruit is makabel tumah, you're being mevatel it. Achim said not only you have to be mevatel the fruit, you have to be mevatel the yad. So we want to say that l'chayra, that's the machlokes, whether whether there's a din of what of yad or not. So clearly, according to Rav Abba, there's no way to explain that. You have to say it's machlokes tanoim. He can't come out according to Achirim, right? Well, he said that. Well, Rav Abba said l'chora that it could come out according to Achirim. He can't come out according to the Tanakama. Again, Rav Abba says only by gas, not by schach. So therefore, he can come out according to the Tanakama, according to Achirim, that there is a yad. Right? Mashenkin Rabbi Nasya, who's to say it's a machlokes? Maybe it's speaking the following scenario where you mevatel, you initially said it's going to be for food, and then there's a din in yad, and then you mevatel it, and then you mevatel it. And the shayla is whether you can mevatel or not. So that's where we're up to. We're up to says over here on Yud Gimel on the base. Yud Gimel on the base. We'll get into it. Yud Gimel on the base. So Amalach Rav Menashe. Let's go over that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines on the bottom. The Kuliyal Masavar, everyone holds, both Tanoim, whether it's a Tanakam or Achirim, a Kaitzel Ischach in Liyadais. If someone Kaitzel Ischach, there's no Yad. The Hachamay Askin on Kigoin, Shekaitzel Lachila, you didn't cut it initially for Schach, you cut it for food, so therefore it had a din of a Yad. Then with Nimlach Alei and Lesikach, you changed your mind and you wanted to go ahead and it should be cut Schach. So therefore you lost the same Yad. Fredrik Mori Kaitzel Lachila might come with Rabbanon. So if you cut it for achila, what's the reason the Rabbanan say that there is no yad? If you cut it for achila, so why is there no yad? The Chacham says clearly you only have to be mevatel the fruit, right, guys? You only mevatel the fruit. If you only mevatel the fruit, you're not mevatel the yad. It doesn't have a yad. But why? If you're telling me, in fact, that you went ahead and cut it for the purpose of fruit, why doesn't it have a yad? The chitem, what are you going to say? Ksav Rabbanan, kiva the nimach aleim l'sikoch, but l'loy machshavasai. His thought about it was created that there was a din of yad, so he can uproot that thought. Good? Mm-hmm. So now, guys, we're going to get into a very intricate machlokes. When something has an ability to makabel tumah, is it enough just to go ahead and be mevatel bit machshava, or do you have to go ahead and be mevatel bit maisa? Do you need an action? So now, what's he doing over here? The machshava of la'achila created the din of yad, and we want to say the machshava for schach would go ahead and uproot that, and we'd go ahead and lose the din of schach, right? Svechitema ksav rabbanan kiven the nemach aleim l'sikoch but lamachshavasai. Since he went ahead and he changed his mind for the purpose of schach, it's mevatel is machshava of achila. Can you just get rid of the machshava of yad so easily? Can you just get rid of it with the machshava? In other words, you created a machshava of yad to be makabel tumah. Now, how'd you create that? With a machshava for food. So now I'm uprooting it with a machshava for what? For schach. Says the Gemara. Is that in fact the way it works? Vatanan, says the Mishnah, famous Mishnah, Kol HaKelim Amid Aleph, Kol HaKelim Yordin L'dei Tumah b'machshava. All kelim are yordin l'dei tumah b'machshava. Guys, in order for something to be makabel shum, it has to be gemar malacha. So let's say you're cutting a leather. So if you're going to make shoes, that leather is not makabel tumah in the shoes. Let's say you change your mind. I want to use this as a tablecloth. Tablecloth. You don't need to do anymore, right? And then no, I want to do it for shoes. No. Once you said I'm using it for tablecloth, It's Makabel Tuma. It has the capacity of Makabel Tuma. And your machshava not to doesn't help. You need a Maisa. So who did over here? Once I created my machshava for Achila, that created a Yad, my machshava to use it for Tzach, can't take it out. Let's fear rice. I'm going with the Bach right now. One action can be mevatel another action, umiyad machshava and machshava. However, machshava ain't a mevatel loy miyad maisa. A machshava can't be mevatel miyad maisa. So, in other words, the fact that you changed your mind for schach would not help. So, back to the question: you want to say pshat in the chachamim that when you want to use guys fruit for schach, all you need is roiv keneged the fruit. And you don't need roiv keneged the yad. Why not? You're going to tell me that your machshava, you changed your mind and you want to use it for schach. That's not enough, because once you created the yad, it's there. And the machshava alone can't take it out. What are you going to say? Hani midi kalim, perhaps this din of you need a maisa to take it off, but not machshava. Maybe that's only regarding a kli, like the example I gave of leather for shoes, and you change the mind for a tablecloth, and therefore that's a kli, as a Torah's kli, right? As opposed to food, the chashivi, aval yadai, still it's sarach achiloninu. Yadai, which you can't even eat. It's an ancillary to the food. The machshava nasu, machshava salka. You created machshava, and maybe what you can take away machshava. So in other words, back to the original premise. Right? I got a good shot. We said a din. What's the din if you have branches of fruit and what? And you want to use feschach. Now food is makabel tuma, and therefore it can't be. So what do you need? You need roiv keneged the fruit. Says acherim, you need roiv keneged the fruit and keneged the yad. And the chachamim say you don't need keneged the yad. Why? Because initially, you thought about it, using it for what? For food. And you changed your mind, and changing your mind can help. We have a Mishnah saying it doesn't help. Maybe that's only in kalim, like we gave an example of leather, but food, maybe since the yad is ancillary, maybe it does work. I'll show you it doesn't work. Guys, you with me? I fear dice, right? Says the Gemara. For Tanan, kol yadois ha'oichlin shebesasan, that's a hard word. Kol yadois ha'oichlin shebesasan begoirin toiros. All yadais that you eat, shebesasan, that you do something which I'm not going to tell you yet. Begoirin with that's not the title. Begoirin in the threshing floor is tahairos. Okay, now let's define that word. Bishleim elamandi amar bisasan is hitter aguda. Bishleim is the one that says any yad of food that you simply untie. So you didn't do something in the fruit itself. It took a shapir. It takes so it's tahar. Why is it tahar, guys? Because it lost its shem yad. Guys, why did it lose its shem yad? Because I simply untied the bundle. Is that a mice in the fruit, or more like closer to a machshava? Closer to machshava. I did nothing in the fruit. I didn't do anything to the fruit. I went ahead and I untied it. So bishlema, the one who teaches bisasan as untying shapir, we can be mevatel the yad through a machshava. In other words, that you said, you created it by machshava v'achila, I can be mevatel machshava by using it for schach. And where do you see that machshava helps by food? By the case over here. Any yad shebesasan for the goyrim, what's besasan? You simply untied it, meaning you didn't do a maisa in it. You just, you didn't change it, guys. You didn't change it. You didn't do a maisa. Elamandi amamai besasan, when it says besasan, is besasan mamish, you crushed it. My ikla meimar. What are you going to say? If you crushed it, obviously you have to do a maisa. So we're back to the original question. Guys, what's the original question? We have the chachamim saying you don't have to mevatel the yad when it's used for schach. We have the chachamim say you have to mevatel the yad. And you're telling me that speaking in the heikatimtza is where initially you're going to use it for food, and now you change your mind to use it for schach. How you mevatel the yad? Your thought of changing it for achila is not enough of a reason to mevatel the yad, guys. You need an action. And for the Gemara, shebesasa mamish. You know what you did? You did an action. You crushed it. So therefore, since you crushed it, it lost the shem yad. So it's speaking where what? you had a fruit that you're going to go ahead. Initially, you harvested it for fruit. As soon as you harvest it for the purpose of achila, the yad is considered what? Part of the fruit, and it's mekabel tumah. Now I changed my mind, and it's not enough. What happened? I actually crushed the yad. I crushed the yad. It doesn't have a shem yad. I did a ma'isa. My time with the acherim. Now let's throw the ball back the other way. What does the acherim say? You have to go ahead, and roiv has to be connected the fruit, and roiv has to be connected the yad. But if it's speaking where you crushed it, it lost its shem yad. You should only need a roiv connected the fruit. Again, what's the case? I want to use this fruit for schach. I got a teina tree, and I got figs on it. Says the acherim, you have to mevatel roiv connected the figs and roiv connected the stems. But if the stems are crushed and lost its shem yad, why do you have to mevatel the yad? And for the Gemara, Dama Kreb Yaisi, Achem de Hola Kreb Yaisi. That not Rabbi Yaisi mitame. Rabbi Yaisi says all yodais that you shebesasan, all yodais that besasan you either crush or you untie is tummy. Hi mai. Bishlei mahasam time of Rabbi Yaisi Chazia the Chreb Shem ben Lakish. Nam Shem ben Lakish Hoyel Vroy LaHayfchan Ba'atar. You know, guys, in order when it's crushed, it has to have a purpose. So picture this: you have a fruit. And the fruit would fall, you have a pitchfork. An atar is a pitchfork. It's a 3-pronged pitchfork, right? So let's say you have a small fruit, it's going to fall between. Mm-hmm. But if you have the yad, it's going to be able to hold it, right? Across like this. So therefore, even though it's crushed, it's still intact. Sits and still intact. That's why it's tummy. It's les Hashem yad. So that works well by what? By oichel, by there. Elahacha, by sukkah, by schach, by chazia. What can you use the yad for, like the acherim that you have to mevatel it? In other words, it's still I got a good word. It still retains its identity. But why should it retain its identity if it's crushed? So, you know, it has to be used for something. Mm-hmm. It says when you're going to take down your sukkah, you can pick it up by the stem and take off the schach. You know, that's what it's still used for. You still can use it. Mm-hmm. Since it still has a use, is as a yad. Okay, so let's go. Let's just what we had. We had a machloikis. We had a machloikis yesterday between Rav Abba and Rav Masya. Rav Abba said if you have wine that's going to go into a gas, right? Wine that goes into a gas, it doesn't have a yad, right? Because the yad, it's going to go ahead and absorb the wine. You guys, the last thing you want to do if you spend a little money on a bottle of wine, you don't want more than anything in your mouth besides wine. You know, if you ever had that experience of, you know, good bottle and something, the piece of cork somehow got in there, usually because it's gotten stored correctly, so it was brittle, and you want to mechaber you, and you didn't know what it was doing. You know that you pull it out and half comes out. You know, you're smiling. You know. Okay. You know the drill. I say, you know the drill. I know. I was in a guy's house. I was in a guy's house. Yitzi Preda, love to see you. Great. Okay. Anyway, so Geshmak, guys. So I'm going through over the Gemara outside to make sure that you understand what you think you understand. So just to put it all together. Good. So we have Rav Abba and Rav Masya. Rav Abba said we say the din by wine. Rav Masya said two chiddushim. Not only by wine, we say it by sukkah. That if you're going to go ahead and you kaitza the sukkah, it doesn't have a yad. So the Gemara brings in. What do you mean it doesn't have a yad? The Gemara brings in. A machloikis between the Tanakama and Acherim. Tanakama says it doesn't have a yad. Acherim says it does have a yad. So Rav Abba obviously has to argue with Acherim. Rav Abba says it doesn't have a yad. So he's has to go only according to the Tanakama. But according to Rav Masya, we want to say he can come out with Kuli Alma. Why? Because what's the case speaking? It's speaking initially when you went ahead and cut it. You cut this for the purpose of eating. So therefore, it created the din of a yad. Once you changed your mind, it created the din mad of no yad. How do you go from yes yad to no yad? Yuchayra machshav is not enough. Says the Gemara. Well, there's an opinion that machshav is enough. Where is that opinion? So, for example, kol yodai shebesasan. Besasan means you untie, which is simply what? A machshava, because you're not doing anything intrinsically. You're not changing the yad. It's remaining the same. Don't get focused on the action of untying. You haven't done a thing to the yad, guys. You hear? Guys, don't think for a second. Guys, you hear? Don't think, what? I untied it. It's an action. It's not an action. What is an action? I changed the yad. You didn't change the yad. The yad it was the same way before tied, after tied. So if you hold that besasan is tyra, so you see machshav is enough. But let's say you hold besasan, what is smashing? It's not enough. So how are you going to learn pshat in the chachamim? You need a maisa. Says, you did a maisa. If you did a maisa, what's pshat in the chayrim? Says that chayrim you could use it for something. It still retains its identity. You can use it when you take a pitchfork and go like that. When it's on the sukkah, what could you use it for? Pulling it off. So we're doing good. Gufa. Kol yodas ha'oichlin shebesasan. All yodas of food that you're besasan begoyrin to hayros Rabbi Yossi mitama. My besasan. It's a Mishnah in Uktzin. Rabbi Yochanan Amar besasan mamish. You crushed it mamish. Rabbi Yitzchak Aimer. Rabbi Yitzchak Aimer. Hitter Ogdan. You untied it. It's very interesting Gemara. We're going ahead now. Going back explaining it before, which is very interesting. Gufa. Usually say Gufa. Usually have Amoraim. We have no Amoraim here. He said Gufa on a Mishnah. Rashi runs this. He says it's very strange, the language. Rashi says it's because it's a Mishnah in Tyrus and there's never Gemara on it. Very interesting Rashi. It's anyway. So Mishlei Rabbi Elazar Dam Besasan hit the Ogdan Haim Rabbi Yossi. Right, that's time Rabbi Yossi did it. That's why it's tummy. El Rabbi Elazar Dam Besasan hit the Ogdan Haim Rabbi Yossi. El Rabbi Yochanan Dam Besasan Mamish Amay Mitam Rabbi Yossi. Why is it Mitam if it's crushed? So since you can go ahead and take an atar, a pitchfork, and go over it. Now, since we're discussing the word ba'atar, guys, in Parshas Toldos, my Bar Mitzvah Parsha, it says that Rivka was what? She was not Kara, she'd have children. It says, Vayet Yitzchak lachishtoy ki akarihi vayasaloi. So the same shoyrish of ayin tes reish. So I'm Rabbi Lomanim shel tefillah shel tzadikim ka'atar lemel chama'atar zeh mahapich satfua begoyrim memakam memakam after shel tzadikim hacham daita shel kadosh baruch hu midas achsorius midas rachmanis. He goes ahead and changes. Let's meet this idea. It goes from one side to the other side, right? Okay, very good. Yeah, that's it. The Achsarius is it's a hard lesson. Somebody asked me a kasha. I looked around for an answer. I didn't find it. Okay, next Mishnah, powerful Mishnah, guys. Let's take out your books. Very powerful Mishnah. We got books. You have your probably books. You can look on with Ari. Look on with. Call out the page. Baruch. Sachnim ben Asarim.
Yeah. 45.
Page 45. Okay, 45. Okay, here we go. You can go ahead. You could use boards. This is according to Reb Meir. You could go ahead. This is according to Reb Yehuda. Reb Meir Asa. Reb Meir says you can't use boards. Now, if you if you put a nesser that's 4 tefachim wide, kashera, provided you don't sleep underneath it. Okay, what picture number? 150 page. Okay, so it's very, very posh. Now, what's going on? Why can't you use boards? Guys, this is called gezeres tikra. Gezeres tikra. If you use boards, which is your normal building material for putting a ceiling in the house, if you're able to use it in the sukkah, you may come to sit in your house and say that's okay. So gezeres, it's a dirabbanan dikadin. Now, after all, what's a board, guys? Is it makabel toma? No. Why? It's flat. It's pshutei kliyates. Is it gedulim min haaretz? So why isn't it good? So it's a gezeira dirabbanan or the tikra. We have something called a tikra. Right? You might sit in your house and say, good, look, last year I sat in the sukkah with the storm. It's fine. So therefore, that's gezeres tikra. That's why you can't do it. That's why Meir. Rabbi Yehuda says you could. Now this is Reb Meir l'shitasa, guys. It's chayish l'miyuta. He's mechayish for what? For the miyat. He's chayish for the miyat. Let's see Rashi in the Mishnah. Mesachim ben Nisarim. You can go ahead. B'gemara mefarish p'tayu nasal nesa shehu rachav arba. B'gemara mefarish man ketanila u'b'vash le'yishin tachtav. The nesa rachav dalit schach pasel. It's 4 tefachim wide, guys. It's schach pasel. Kedam Gemara. L'Rav aliba d'Reb Meir u'Shmuel d'Reakol. The sukkah kashera. We're going to Yovle Eitzel Doifen. Schach pasel in a pasel. If it's next to the door, next to the wall, it's not. It's guys. If it's schach pasel, if it's pasel, how could the sukkah be kosher? So what this you put it next to the wall. You say doifen akuma, and now it's not. It's mevatel that, but you can't sleep under it because it's a wall. Yes, Mendy. How big is a tefach?
Yeah. How many inches?
I don't know. A tefach. Well, they say that there's about I would say 4 inches, between 3 inches and 4 inches.
So it has to be 4 tefach, so 3 times
What?
4.
Yeah, at least 12 wide. Okay, so now, so we have machlokes exactly where this machlokes is. So let me bring it up. What happened there? I just had that. What happened to it? There it is. Okay, not a very good. Anyway, this is just something I jotted down over here. This is the least important is this. We have three shiurim, guys. 4, between 3 and 4, and 3 less than 3. Any board that's less than 3 is great. Why? Because with anything less than 3, we'll say lovewood. Okay. Where's the machlokes between Rav and Shmuel? We're going to see a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. So one opinion is the machlokes is if it's exactly 4. That's Rav says that's what the machlokes is. But anything less than 4, between 3 and 4 will be kosher. And Shmuel says that 4 is psula and 3 and 4 is the machlokes. So it's good I'm going to keep this up there that you should have it because it'll help us understand the Gemara. Amar Rav, says Rav, machlokes between Rav Yehuda and Reb Meah is b'nesarim sheyesh behen arba, by nesarim that you have 4 tfachim. The Reb Meah islay gezeres tikra. Since the normal building material is 4 tfachim, he says he holds a gezeres tikra, and therefore you can't use it in your sukkah. Rav Yehuda less like gezeres tikra. He doesn't hold of gezeres tikra. Therefore, you could use it in the sukkah. Aval b'nesarim she'ein ben arba, nesarim that do not have 4 tfachim, divri akol, even Reb Meah would be moida that kashera. Guys, good. So the machlokes is by 4. Anything less than 4, you're good. Ushmul amano b'she'ein behem arba machlokes. Machlokes is when it's less than 4. Aval yesh ben arba, if it's 4, divri akol psula. Everyone says it's puzzle. So the machlokes guys, Rav and Shmuel. Rav says the machlokes is by 4. Shmuel says anything less than 4. Now the Gemara wants to know anything less than 4, even 3. If it's less than 3, it's no different than a reed. So Rav Papa no. Here's what Shmuel's saying. Yesh ben arba devir kol psula. If you have 4, everyone says it's puzzle. Pachas mishleisha, less than 3, devir kol ksheira. That's what's on the chart and come out. My time will kind of almanu. He pligi with machlokes mishleisha arba, machlokes between 3 and 4. That's machlokes. Masavar keeping the lesson who's shir makom, since it doesn't have the shir of a makom chashiv. Guys, 4 tfachim is the makom chashiv. Like Gazminan, Rabbi Yehuda says you're not geyser. Well, Masavar keeping the nafel when we Taurus Lavud, as soon as it leaves 3, and then it goes Taurus Lavud Gazminan. That is Rabbi Meah. Okay, so guys outside. Like Rav, the machlokes is by 4 tfachim. Less than 4 tfachim, no machlokes. Like Shmuel above 4, everyone else is puzzle. Machlokes between 3 and 4, according to Shmuel. What's the machlokes contingent on? Do you say gezeres tikru or not? Says Rabbi Meah. Once it goes beyond lovewood. Once you go beyond lovewood, we're chayshid. And he says no. Since it's less than 4 and less than makom chashiv, you don't have to worry. Okay, Tan. Nasan Allah nesa shehu rochav arba tefachim. If you put on it a nesa, a board that's 4 tefachim, kshera, ubelvad shleishin tachtav, you can't sleep underneath it. Okay, that's the last part of our Mishnah, guys. So you put a board of 4 tefachim. Good, you put a 4 tefachim, and it's kosher the sukkah, but you can't sleep under the board. Now, bishleima lishmuel dama b'she'ein ba arba machlokes, when there's right. Aval yesh ben arba divya kol psula mishum hachi lo yishen tachtav. That's why you can't sleep underneath it. El Rav dama b'sheyesh behen arba machlokes avleim ben divya kol kshera Rabbi Yehuda ma'lo yishen tachtav. Like Rabbi Yehuda, why shouldn't you be able to sleep underneath? Because he says the machlokes is by 4. In other words, guys, the Mishnah said a carte blanche did. What did the Mishnah say? If it's 4, you can't sleep underneath it. Good. So according to Rav, let Rabbi Yehuda, why can't you sleep underneath it? It's kasha schach. 4 is where the machlokes is. Do you think that last statement of the Mishnah is according to everybody? Seifa son the Reb Meah. The safe is going according to Reb Meah. Guys, look at the Mishnah. Go back to the Mishnah. Nesachim ben Nesarim. If you use Nesarim, that again, we're going to learn with Rav. Okay, according to Rav, Nesachim ben Nesarim, that is 4 tfachim. Dear Reb Yehuda. Reb Meah says that what? That it's asar. Nasnal nesa shehu rochav arba tefachim. If you put a nesed on it, that's arba tefachim. Keshera, It's kasha the sukkah. You know why it's kasha? Because it's daifan akuma. Why shouldn't you sit underneath it? Because the late Rameya, it's not good schach. Right? Because late Rameya, it's not good schach.
Does it make a difference where that floors or the middle of the sukkah?
Yes.
That's what that
Yeah,
is.
yes. We're going to see that on the only base. We're going to see that on the only base. Okay. Tashma. Shnei sadinim mistaf. Okay, you got a picture, nice picture there. Let's get that picture. See it? You see it in the middle, right? Okay, I'm going to take a look at the chart. Okay, you have kasha schach on both sides, and in the middle you have a sad and a sheet, which is makabel tumah. Okay, yeah. So you have on the sides, you have kasha schach, and now you're being mitzaref, guys, in the middle. You're going to be mitzaref something that is right. You saw the picture. I mean, mitzaref in the middle. Okay, so now that's exactly the mitzias over here. So shnei sadinim, two sheets, mitzarfin. They will combine for the shear of arba tefachim to puzzle the sukkah because it's schach puzzle. So as Mendy said, is there a difference where you put it? Schach puzzle in the middle of the sukkah will puzzle the sukkah. 4 tefachim will puzzle the sukkah. So therefore, these terms, guys, shnei sadinim, 2 sadinim, which is schach puzzle. Why? Because it's makabel tumah. In the middle of the sukkah will be mevatel the sukkah. Mitzarfim to go ahead and ruin the sukkah. Good. Next, shnei nisarim, 2 boards in the middle of the sukkah. Now, how big are these boards?
Why does that be 2? Why not 1?
Again, that's no chiddush. Then it's a chiddush. Shnei nisarim ein mitzarfim. Right, 2 nisarim ein mitzarfim. 2 nisarim ein mitzarfim. That's the Mishnah Hesh. If it's 1 board, that's the Mishnah. If it's 1 board, right? It's the Mishnah. That the machloek is now. Shnei nisarim. Now the question is, what's the shear? You partially. What would you say? It's 2 boards that similar to the sadinim. That they're 2 boards that are going to equal to 4. Good.
Mhm.
So now this would be good according to Shmuel, but according to Rav, the wise apostle. Oh. So Shnei Enistan, Rameya Omer, Af Nisarim Kisadinim. Rameya says Nisarim is Kisadinim, and it would be mitzaref. It would be mitzaref to puzzle the sukkah. Now Bishleim Lishmuel Do Amar Bishaim Behen Arba Machlaikis. When there's not 4, there's Machlaikis. Avol Yesh Ben Arba Divya Kol Psula. My mitzarfin Arba. What are they combining to? They're combining for the shear of 4 to puzzle the sukkah. Because again, according to Shmuel, guys, no machlokes. Once it's 4, it's puzzle, guys, right? That was the shear. Once it's 4, right? It's all over, right? Guys, what does Shmuel hold? Once it's 4, guys, right? You see it? Psula. Once it's 4, it's puzzle. So you have 2, over here you have 2 boards, they're coming together, and they've been starif to puzzle the sukkah. That's the way Shmuel Bishleim is Shmuel Noah B'Shem Barab Machloikas Al V'Yesh Ben Arba Devekol Psula Ma'im Mitzarfin. It means Mitzarfin Arba. El Rav Dama B'Yesh Ben Arba Machloikis. The Machloikis is only when they have 4. Avol Ben Arba Devekol Kshera Hechidami. Guys, listen to this. Id Ispu Arba. If they combine for they have 4, each one has 4. Lamalu it's the rufe. That Heshi's point. It's dead in the water. Either leslu arba, amai. Why they mitzaref or kanim ba'almaninu? Right. Guys, loit rav 3 to 4 is kosher schach. Right. Guys, loit rav. Guys, loit rav. Look, guys, loit rav is kosher schach. What happens when you put 1 piece of kosher schach next to another piece of kosher schach? It's kosher schach. So how can you be mitzaref? You want to mitzaref leisa, but l'chayra you have 1 piece of kosher. Why do you mean mitzaref? It's kosher schach. He's putting up a regular sukkah. So what's pshat? So l'chayra we have a ice and a kasha, guys. I'm wrong, guys. You have the kasha. Bishleim, you're going to tell me that if they're both 4, you don't need siruf. Alone it would go impossible. And if it's less than 4, Rav says everyone holds its kasha. So kanim ba'alma, it's mamish kasha schach. Idis wa lo lamlim stufa. Either less than arba, amai va kanim ba'alma. For the Gemara, lo'olam disbu arba. Lo'olam it has 4, each one. Now, why do you mean mitzdarif, guys? Now, what was a havamina? We're mitzdarif to pasal the sukkah, guys. Umay mitzdarfin la'arba amos min hatzad. It's going to be mitzdarif to arba amos min hatzad to pasal al stoifin akuma. Take a look at the picture. A number?
157.
Okay, page 47, the first picture. We thought we're going to passel al swat al schach. What we're doing is we're passing the doifin lakuma. We're making it more than 4 amas. We're making it more than 4 amas. If it's more than 4 amas, guys, then you don't say doifin akuma. So mitzdarfin over here does not mean from the din of what of schach. We mean al schach. It's not good. It's 4 tfachim. Now 4 tfachim plus other stuff is going to go ahead and be mevatel doifin akuma. My mitzdarfin la arba amas for 4 amas. Minat sad lishnachrina. So bishlema lishmuel dama b'sheim. So the first kasha was based upon right Remeya. So bishlema lishmuel dama b'sheim arba machloikis. Aviyesh min abba devia kol psula my mitzdarfin la arba amas. Minat sad. It'll be mitzdarfin arba amas. El rav bishlema Remeya my mitzdarfin la arba amas. Minat sad. El Rabbi Yehuda dama fil yesh bin arba ksheira mayim mitzdarfin kanem almenenu. Right. So why l'chayra like guys? Let Rabbi Yehuda. What do you mean mitzdarf? It's kasha. It's kasha. A 4 is kasha. So what do you mean mitzdarf? Says I did come Rabbi Meir mitzdarfin. Rabbi Yehuda mitzdarfin. Tani kavasi the Rav. Tani kavasi the Shmuel. We have Bryce that's Raya to Rav. Tani kavasi the Rav. Sichacha bis nesarim shel erez sheim behen arba. If you use schach with boards of cedar wood that do not have 4, divrei akol kshera. Everyone says that's kasha. Guys, who is that? Guys, that's Rav, right? Guys, that's Rav. You're going ahead, you're using something less than 4, right? What does Rav say? Guys, right here on the board, it's kshera, right? It's kasha. So bishleim, there's your raya. Tanya kavasei to Rav. The raya is right there. Yesh ben abba, if it has 4, meya paisor you the machshir. So here you have exactly machlaikas. Guys, good. So here exactly. You have the machlaikas. It fits right in. According to Rav, it's kshera less than 3 and 4, and it's machlaikas by 4. So the Bryce is mamish off in a Rav. The Bryce is mamish off in a Rav. You can keep it. The Bryce is mamish off in a Rav. So in Amr Rabbi Yehuda, Maisa b'shas sakana. There was a Maisa at the time of sakana. Sheheviu nesarim shahaya ben arba. That they brought nesarim that had 4 tfachim. V'sechenu al gabe marpeset. And they put tzchach on the merpeset. If you might recall a merpeset, they have a picture of it, I'm not sure. You have a merpeset that goes up the porch, remember? You're from Erevin. Picture, you're in the chutzner, you have the ladder going up, and there's a porch, and it goes into different apartments. That's called a merpeset, right? It was an aliyah. Remember, we took the bucket of water, we threw it off there, right, into the boards. Some nice memories of Erevin. Okay, anyway, so see, Bishleim, so now, there was a Maisa Sakana. They brought in a Sorim that was 4. They put in a Merpeset. The Yeshivim Tachtayim. In other words, it was a Maisa guys of they didn't want to keep us mitzvahs. They didn't want to let us keep mitzvahs. So they fooled them by putting they put this Nesarim on top of the Merpeset and they sat underneath it. Yeah. So a Maisa, I think a Maisa, I heard it, I don't know from who, maybe Rabbi Friend on the tape, that during the war, there was a Yidden, and they were sukkahs, and they had tanks, German tanks, Tiger tanks, and they were in close proximity, and they threw stuff on top of it. They kept the sukkah. They kept the sukkah. Crazy, not crazy Maisa. They kept the sukkah. Unbelievable. Says the Gemara. So you have this Maisa. So what do you see? You see that what you could use 4. You know, you have Shitas Rabbi Yehuda to be samech upon. So I'm a lawyer. They told Rabbi Yehuda, Misham Raya, you don't have a Raya from there. Ain b'shas sakana Raya. There's no Raya b'shas sakana. Well, guys, what was the first place? B'shas sakana. This is only Gezeres Tikra, right? Din Rabbanan. B'shas sakana. You worry about Din Rabbanan? I don't know, Terrence. Guys, you hear the kasha? Guys, you hear? What's the reason you can't use 4? Din Rabbanan Gezeres Tikra. B'shas sakana. You can worry about the Rabbanan? That's Mendy. I expect you to answer that question. I thought you'd be angry and answer that question. Right?
Shmad make a difference?
Right? Now I'm saying I don't know. It's not. I'm not sure. It's only the Rabbanan Aryeh. L'chayra, it's only Gezerah. Everyone says it's okay. So l'chayra, it's only Gezerah. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, Tanya Kavasi. If you hear a teretz, give me a teretz. Tanya Kavasi the Shmuel. Okay, guys. Shmuel Shita. The machloikis is by 3 to 4, and 4 it's psula. Tanya Kavasi the Shmuel. Sicha ben esarim shel bars shel erez sheish ben arba. You have 4. There called psula. There it is, right? Everyone says there it is. It's possible. Look at on the chart. There it is. It's possible right there. Ein ben arba. Now, not arba. Then you have machloikis. May a place of you the machsher. Umayda Reb Meir is Mayda Shem Yesh by Neser leNeser Kimale Neser. If you have between the board and the board, the shear of a board, Shemaniach Psal Beinehem. Guys, let's say you have the board that's 4 tfachim, and then you have a space of 4 tfachim. Then you have the board of 4 tfachim, a space of 4 tfachim. If you put kasha schach, Psal means psalus kasha schach. You put kasha schach in between. Call out a picture. There's a picture there.
159.
159. Okay, so it's Maida that if you do that, Kshera. Umayda Rabbi Yehuda, who disagrees, who says that that between 3 and 4 is machlokes. If you use a neser, a board that's 4 tfachim kosher, then you shun him tachtov. By yashin tachtov lo yatsi dechavasai. And again, it's speaking by daif and akuma. You put it on the side. Okay, it's speaking where you put it on the side, and therefore don't sleep under it. Now, let's say, guys, your board is 4 tfachim wide, but if you turn it on its long side, it's going to be 3 tfachim. It's going to be 3 tfachim. Okay, so let's take a look. What? Here you go, guys. See picture? There you go. Okay, so now, so guys, what would you say the din would be? Kasha or pasa? What would you think? Now it's only 3 tefachim wide.
Kasha.
Or going the other way.
Okay, but I'm not using the other way. Here, look here. Here, it's here. This is 4 tefachim, and this is 3 tefachim, right? That I'm doing. So, what would you say? You say good or no good? Oh, it's a machlokes.
Anybody online for that?
Who says you can't teach an old dog the tricks? Very geschmack. Okay, guys. So we have machlokes. What's the machlokes between Rav Huna and Rav Chisda and Rav Huna and the son? Says what's the machlokes? So Hafchan, you put it on its side. Now the side is only going to be what? Rav Huna Ama Psula. Rav Huna says it's Psula. Rav Chisda Rav Huna Ama Kshera. Now, says Rashi, guys, listen to my Psula. Kidefarish the Kamon, the Kivin Sheyesh Shem Psula Lehem, Nasu Kishipudim Shal Mateches. We'll view them as spits of iron. HaPsulam Masachech, the Chol Inyan Shahivchan. In other words, guys, when it's 4 tfachim, is it out of the ballpark? Yeah. Out of the ballpark. So even once you put a 3, it's like taking a piece of iron. No matter which way you invert it, iron is makabel tumah, right? You can't use it. So once it's 4, can't use it. Can't do anything. That's Rav Huna's shita. Rav Chisda and Rav Huna agree with you. Okay, they agree with you. So what happens? Here's a Maisa. So Ikla Rav Nachman l'Sura. Rav Nachman came to Surah. Rav Nachman was, again, he was the son of the Reish Galusa. He carried a lot of weight. He comes to Surah. Oil Gabi Rav Chisda, Rav Huna. They come to visit him. Now they wanted to know whether Rav Nachman agreed with them or not. So Amrulei, they said to Rav Nachman, Hafchu al tzideihem. Let's say you turn the 4 tfachim slat on its side. Now it's only 3 tfachim. Mahu. So Amalahu, Psula. Why is it? And he says the reason. Nasa kishipud mishal mateches. Rav Nachman spells it out. We're going to view it as what? As pasal schach. So Amalu Rav Huna, who was there, who had said to them, it's pasal, like Amri Lechu, Amri Kavase, didn't I tell you that Rav Nachman would hold like me? That it's possible. So I'm late. They told Rav Chisda and Rav Huna said to Rav Huna, did you tell us the reason and we want makabel from you? Did you tell us the reason is what? Because it lost its shame, it's slap, it's bustle. So Lahu. So Rav Nachman said, did you ever ask me taima? Blame Lahu.
Jewish conversation.
Yes. I was learning the Gemara. I was going with the Gemara. I couldn't follow what's going on over here. Where does Rav Huna pop in? It says Rav Nachman appears, and and all of a sudden Rav Huna pops in. Like it was like a little disconcerting. Anyway, Lema Messiah. Let's bring a riot to Rav Huna, guys. We're going to be a riot that if you turn it over, that's puzzle. We're going to be a riot. We're going to attempt to bring a riot. Lema Messiah. The sukkah is not large enough. It's not Zayin Tfachim. It can't contain what? It can't contain Rosh Hashanah Shulchanai. Oisha nifritza b'pirtza, or there's a hole in the wall. It's more than 3 Tfachim high. A gedi can go through it. So those are 2 psulim. Here's the 3rd psulim. This is the one we need. And you put on it a board that's 4 Tfachim. Even though only what? There's 3 tefachim that's nichnas. So the havamina is, guys, what? It's 4 tefachim this way, but only 3 tefachim nichnas if you turn it over. So and it says psula, which would be a riot to Rav Huna. Hechidami, lav kigoin shahaf. That this last case where you said 4 tefachim and then there's 3. What's it speaking about? Lav that shahafan al tzidayim, and that'd be a riot to Rav Huna. That's possible. Says, going the ancha apuma de metatalta, you put it on the opening of the sukkah. The aisle tilsa legav, 3 tefachim are going in. The ofik chad lebar, and 1 is going out. So in other words, you have a 4 tefach board, but you're only using 3. You have a good picture of it.
Yeah.
Okay, the second one. You use the second one. What?
162.
162. Picture 162. Guys, look. You see it. 3 is inside and 1 is outside. So that's going to be puzzle because we're going to say psal. It's a little shverlich, but we didn't learn this yet. But so 3 are inside and 1 is outside. And any psal is nidan kesukah. Any psal that leaves the sukkah has a nidan kesukah. So look at there's a long Rashi over here. What guys? Why don't we say doifin akuma? Because the 4th side is open. There's no wall there. That's why you always have a 4th wall. Right, you see Daifan Akuma. You won't. Yeah, you say Daifan Akuma. The chayrot should be good.
If you had a partial wall, it'd be okay.
Yeah, so you can't have a Daifan Akuma there because then the everything should be good. So Rashi says, Apuma de metatalta, says Rashi, Eitzel ruach revi, next to the 4th side, she'ein sham doifin. It doesn't have a wall. The lafke minei al yidei Daifan Akuma. They should be yoitza using Daifan Akuma. The ein kan doifin ela pesach. You don't have a doifin. They're only opening. Good. The fun is that even though the whole doesn't come totally inside, the fun is that stud and puzzle. It's still puzzle. Why? The hu tefach da broi, the tefach that's outside, mechashiv nami kisukah. It's considered part of the sukkah. So now it's considered you have 4 tefachim, guys. Once you have 4 tefachim, it's no good.
Does it get into the from the side walls?
Can't the walls extend to it?
Because the walls that goes to the side.
It doesn't help you. Let's say the side walls goes over here. Doesn't help you. You still have an open side in the front. Pesach.
On that side, but not there.
So what's the psul over here? What's the psul over here? You're going to say that the psal, that the stuff that comes out, is going to be considered part of the sukkah. So the fact that it's out of bounds, psal puts it back in bounds. So what are you left with? Schach, that is 4 tefachim, but it's going to pass it. And you don't have dofen akuma to say why it's kasha. Thanks for listening.
Okay.